Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we'll explore what the Freaker virus is. In the vast and terrifying universe of video games, few threats manage to inspire as much fear, fascination, and a mix of morbid curiosity as the Freaker virus, also known in some circles as the hooligan virus. This infectious agent, seemingly simple yet biologically extraordinary, made its debut in 2019 within the acclaimed title Days Gone, leaving an indelible mark on players due to its brutality, unpredictability, and the devastating scope of its effects. Since its appearance, Freakers have not only become a constant challenge, but also a symbol of human fragility in the face of altered biology and genetic engineering for warfare purposes. Unlike many natural threats, the Freaker virus did not emerge by accident or as a consequence of an environmental phenomenon. Its creation was deliberate, the product of corporate ambition and manipulation. Cloverdale Corporation, based in the United States, conceived the virus as a precision biological weapon. Before health authorities or the government could even suspect the magnitude of the threat, the infection spread at alarming speeds, colonizing living organisms and transforming them into creatures that combined animal ferocity with grotesque human deformity. In this way, the virus became the central axis of the catastrophe, evolving into the main antagonist within Days Gone's narrative, a hidden enemy ruling over a world in ruins. What makes Freakers particularly terrifying is not only their extreme lethality, but also the virus's astonishing versatility. It is not limited to humans. It can also infect animals, altering their behavior and physiology to turn them into highly dangerous and completely unpredictable predators. According to fictional Nero records, its biological composition combines elements from multiple classic horror and sci-fi viruses, giving it an evolutionary complexity that ranks it among the most disturbing pathogens conceived in the context of video games. It is a hybrid of science fiction and horror, capable of challenging any notion of biological safety and creating a world where survival depends on cunning, preparation, and, in many cases, luck. In this analysis, we will delve into the virus's origins, its spread, visible symptoms, and the gradual transformation process of infected individuals into the feared Freakers. Additionally, we will break down the different types of infected, their unique abilities, specific mutations, and vulnerabilities, providing a comprehensive overview of the threat posed by this virus. The hooligan virus was the catalyst for the collapse of civilization in the Days Gone universe. Its initial release took place in Oregon, and its story is closely tied to Sarah Whitaker, the wife of protagonist Deacon St. John. 2 years before the events of the game, Sarah worked as a scientist at Cloverdale, believing she was contributing to harmless botanical projects. However, she was actually participating in the development of a sophisticated biological weapon, a fact hidden from her until her work had already become instrumental. Sarah's ignorance represents the silent tragedy behind many human failures in the face of technological threats. Even the best intentions can fuel unimaginable disasters. The disaster began with David Goldman, an intern at Cloverdale with strong intuition and distrust toward the corporation. Goldman suspected that the company was developing a biological agent for secret military purposes and decided to steal a sample to expose them. However, a lapse in caution led to his infection. Later, during a planned exhibition in Portland, he attempted to reveal the truth to a journalist, but accidental contact resulted in the infection of all attendees. What began as an isolated incident quickly became the spark of an uncontrollable outbreak. Within days, visitors carried the virus to their homes, spreading it to family members and entire communities. Human mobility, combined with the virus's high contagiousness, allowed the infection to expand exponentially, plunging the world into near-instant collapse. The infected, now known as Freakers, became cannibalistic predators capable of annihilating any non-infected life form. Civilization as we knew it crumbled. Entire cities, once centers of progress and culture, turned into hostile and desolate territories. The few survivors were forced to seek refuge in improvised camps hidden in forests and remote areas, adapting to a world where nature and the infected dictated the rules. One of the most terrifying aspects of the virus is its ability to infect animals. Wolves, bears, and other local predators in Oregon mutated, adopting rabid and highly aggressive behaviors similar to rabies, but amplified by accelerated mutations. The virus alters not only behavior but physiology. It increases strength, speed, reflexes, and endurance, transforming these creatures into true biological terrorists capable of ambushing humans and other animals with deadly efficiency. The emergency organization Nero officially classified the infected as Homo sapiens mutans TBA. In humans, the virus causes atrocious deformities, complete hair loss, pale and sickly skin, motor and cognitive deterioration, and a voice replaced by guttural growls and animalistic sounds. Some mutations are extreme. Individuals with a history of steroid use develop muscular hypertrophy, and some infected show joint and tendon anomalies that increase agility. Infected animals exhibit similar patterns: deteriorated yet enhanced bodies, faster reflexes, immense strength, and heightened aggressiveness. Regardless of species, all freakers share an unrelenting predatory drive to consume any non-infected living being in their path. The virus does not affect all species equally, but according to Agent James O'Brien's reports, any direct contact under optimal conditions guarantees 100% infection. During the first weeks of the outbreak, all children under 12 succumbed, unable to withstand the mutation, while most elderly individuals over 60 quickly perished due to extreme cellular changes. Dr. Anderson corroborates these observations, suggesting the existence of a small group with partial resistance or innate immunity, though extremely rare. Lieutenant Wood emphasizes that the virus's aggressiveness and persistence in living organisms have no natural explanation. It is the product of human engineering for strategic and lethal purposes. One of the most disturbing facts is that, despite their mobility and aggressiveness, freakers appear to operate in a state of brain death. The virus acts as the driving force, eliminating any trace of humanity, emotion, or rationality. This creates unpredictable beings guided solely by the need to feed and propagate the infection. The virus's development is divided into 3 clearly defined phases. First phase: the virus rapidly replicates in the lymphatic system and bloodstream, strategically attacking cells and activating proto-oncogenes that trigger uncontrolled cell growth. During this period, external symptoms are minimal, but transformation has already begun at the molecular level. Second phase: physical changes become visible. Tendons and joints become abnormally flexible, nails transform into claws, and certain personal items of the infected remain intact, reflecting residual fragments of memory and previous habits. While some freakers retain clean clothing, others appear bloodied or covered in mud, revealing their behavior prior to the frenzy. Third phase: the most radical and definitive mutation occurs. The infected lose all human intelligence, develop extraordinary strength, agility, and speed, and their skin becomes pale or even albino. At this stage, freakers become predators, aware only of their hunting instinct. Freakers' behavior is equally fascinating. They wander seemingly aimlessly when no prey is detected, but upon sensing any non-infected living being, they enter a frenzy that emits screams capable of attracting other infected, forming massive hordes that move with lethal coordination. Facing these hordes unprepared is nearly suicidal. The strategy is to disperse them through repeated and tactical attacks, using the environment and any advantage available. Weather also plays a role. Under rain, their reflexes decrease slightly, while in snow, their strength and speed increase alarmingly. Unlike classic zombies, they seek food and shelter and display migratory patterns comparable to wild animals, attacking only other species and, occasionally, even members of their own kind. Although they possess superhuman resilience, freakers can be eliminated with firearms, explosives, or blunt attacks aimed at vital points. However, significant damage is required to neutralize them completely. Even after losing limbs, they continue attacking until succumbing to blood loss or massive injuries, demonstrating the virus's relentless brutality. Within the universe of Days Gone, there is a fascinating detail that goes far beyond mere survival and reveals the creativity, cunning, and adaptability of the few humans who manage to stay alive in a world devastated by the Freaker virus. Some survivors have learned to use Freakers to their advantage. Instead of considering them solely as a deadly and uncontrollable threat, these survivors turn them into natural alarm systems or even involuntary guardians. By observing and understanding their behavioral patterns, they are able to strategically position the infected at key points, transforming them into living barriers that protect shelters, camps, or access routes from intruders and hostile groups. This strategy not only demonstrates ingenuity, but also reflects a deep understanding of the predatory and territorial nature of Freakers. The world of Freakers is incredibly diverse and complex. Not all infected are the same. Each type possesses physical and behavioral traits that make them terrifyingly distinct, and knowing these differences can mean the difference between life and death for a survivor. The most common are the adult infected, known as swarmers, who move in large groups and represent a devastating threat when acting in hordes. Their danger increases exponentially in groups, capable of breaking doors, destroying barricades, and attacking with coordinated ferocity. However, when faced individually, their threat diminishes. They are less resilient and much more vulnerable, allowing a well-prepared survivor to confront them in isolation, though always at high risk. Among the infected, some stand out for their exceptional speed and strength, pouncing on their prey with relentless fury. These freakers, similar to fast zombies in other horror stories, become particularly lethal in groups, where coordination and hunting instinct combine to create swift and chaotic attacks. Others, on the contrary, are more robust and dangerous, with pale skin, deformed torsos, and hypertrophied muscles. They show signs of years of adaptation to the virus. Their physical endurance and power make them formidable enemies, difficult to stop even with powerful weapons. There are also young infected, generally between 10 and 14 years old. Their aggression is lower, and they generally keep to themselves, attacking only when an intruder invades their territory. With heights ranging from 1.20 to 1.40 meters and movements in a quadrupedal stance, they exhibit unervingly animalistic behavior. Their skin shows visible sores, but they retain hair, indicating that the infection acts differently on developing bodies. Some of these adolescents have managed to partially adapt to the virus and survive in small organized groups, demonstrating that even the youngest infected can evolve in a hostile environment. Among the female infected, those with long white hair stand out, extremely thin and almost skeletal. These freakers, known as Screechers, have the ability to emit piercing screams that not only stun humans, but also attract entire hordes of infected toward the source of the sound. Their grotesquely open jaws and highly developed hearing make them natural sentinels. Their mere presence alerts other freakers to any sign of human activity, functioning as biological alarm systems that maintain the security of entire areas. Breakers, on the other hand, are muscular giants representing the pinnacle of physical threat. They possess enormous endurance and superhuman strength, capable of destroying humans, animals, and even other freakers, sometimes feeding on them. Their extreme size and power result from bodies previously exposed to steroids or high levels of testosterone, monstrously amplified by the infection. These infected are extremely difficult to take down, and confronting them in hand-to-hand combat is considered virtually suicidal. There are also advanced mutations of the Screechers, fast and lethal versions capable of eliminating entire research teams thanks to their combination of strength, speed, and brutality. They can reach speeds of up to 50 miles per hour, almost equals 80 km/h, resist gunfire and physical attacks, and take down their prey with a single precise strike, becoming a threat that requires careful planning, coordination, and specialized weaponry to neutralize. Infected animals add another layer of complexity to the freaker ecosystem. Mutated wolves become fast and cunning predators, capable of chasing motorcycles or vehicles over short distances. They can be taken down with weapons, direct fire, or traps, but their resilience and speed make them formidable adversaries. Among the most terrifying are the giant infected bears, with nearly impenetrable skin and devastating strength. Surprisingly agile despite their size, confronting them in close combat is virtually a death sentence. Keeping distance becomes the safest strategy. Even birds can be infected. Crows, for example, attack in coordinated flocks, pecking and biting to weaken their victims. Their nests, strategically located in tall trees or posts, allow them to launch attacks from above. Although small, they pose a significant danger due to the speed and precision of their attacks. The most effective tactic is to destroy the nests first, and then eliminate the birds individually, preferably with dispersal weapons like shotguns or grenade launchers. Altogether, this variety of infected demonstrates that the freaker virus did not just create a physical enemy, but an entire ecosystem of adaptive predators. Each type of infected requires specific strategies, knowledge of their behavior, and constant observation. Survivors who master this dynamic not only survive, but transform the world of days gone into a hunting ground where intelligence, planning, and cunning are just as crucial as brute strength. This level of complexity and diversity makes the freaker virus and its victims a fascinating, terrifying phenomenon, while also revealing human resilience in the face of the impossible.